What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader, and it's that time again. The Vintage Collection. Let's take a look at some recent sales. Most of these are ungraded. I pulled out a couple of recent releases like Cad Bane. There's maybe one or two graded in here, but most of these are ungraded TVC 1.0. As you can see by the thumbnail, there was a Jar Jar Binks in Carbonite that sold that was graded. Another Salacious Crumb also sold. And everything in between. In general, there's some really good deals right now for the Vintage Collection, it seems. And while I am on a hiatus for the TVC line, I know that most of you are really enjoying it still and still picking up items where you can. So that's why I cover it, because just because I don't collect it right now doesn't mean that it's not important to you guys. And you guys make this channel what it is today. So I have to keep following it. And for my own sanity, it's also good and knowledge. It's good to know what prices are like, and it's very tempting right now with where prices are for the Vintage Collection. So a couple of different Clone Commander Codys sold. The first one was a foil example that looked to be in pretty good shape overall. Just very, very minor edge wear to it, but that was a very clean Ultimate Galactic Hunt foil example. That one sold for $145.50 on 7 bids. That is a great deal. I mean, I was used to like $200 to $250 in that ballpark, but that was a pretty nice looking example for $145.50. And while I haven't looked at all of these closely, this one did look pretty clean. And that's the lowest I've seen for that one in a long time. Here was a punched example of Clone Commander Cody. Obviously, the unpunched goes for insane money. But this one sold for $225 in a buy it now situation. It looked very, very clean as well. I mean, really great condition for VC19. And again, this was the US card and a punched example. So those unpunched examples, they don't come up often. We saw last year where one sold for, I don't remember the exact number. I want to say it was like $1,300. More recently, it's been more like anywhere from $500 to $700. So that's one that's tough to find, unpunched. General Grievous, I've got a punched as well as an unpunched that sold here recently. This was a punched example, US card, just the standard US release, non-foil. That one sold for $99 in an auction, 22 bids. I mean, that's a great buy. I mean, there are some really good bargains right now. And here was an unpunched example. Again, the standard US release, VC17. This card also looked to be in good shape. Maybe some minor nicks at the very top of the card back. You can see there, sort of by the top, by the hang tab. And on the back there, you can kind of see that a little bit more closely. So very light edge wear to it. Just a little bit of card curl and some edge wear and things like that. So it wasn't perfect, but $229.99. I thought that was a pretty good buy overall. I mean, the card looks beautiful. Pretty great condition, just some minor edge wear to it. Here was a Revenge of the Jedi Boba Fett. This was the standard retail release with the prototype Fett offer and the paperwork inside the blister. So this is not the STCC example, but unpunched, really clean. Came in like this sliding case, and here it is outside of the case. I take it back. It looks like it might have just a little bit of wear to it over by the warning sticker in the upper right-hand corner, but it might just be lighting, I don't know. But overall, it looks pretty clean. Again, some minor edge wear by the proof of purchase on that one. That one sold for $140.50. That's a pretty good buy, in my opinion. Next up, I've got some less expensive options that popped up here recently. Here was a 501st Legion, obviously the Revenge of the Sith. And this one had a little bit of edge wear in the bottom, a lot of edge wear at the bottom. So just factor that in with this final sales price. But that one did sell for $50 plus $7 shipping, despite the damage to that card back. Darth Malgus, he's another one that's it's a really good time to pick him up if you don't have him. I just got done rereading, I think it's called Deceived, where it kind of chronicles Darth Malgus and his attack of the Jedi Temple from the expanded universe. It was a really good read, and Darth Malgus, I think, is criminally underappreciated, and we probably need some more content related to him. He was just a pretty awesome character. So this is one I've got for the Canadian card, but this was the US release with the Darth Maul offer and unpunched, and it looked very clean. But right now is a good time to pick up VC96. This, for the longest time, was kind of $75 to $90, but this one sold for $51 plus $8 shipping. So maybe some of these secondary characters are a good deal. Some more VC44 sold, and there continue to be really good deals for VC44. Luke Skywalker Dagobah Landing. Here was the clear saber version, and this one looked to be pretty clean and unpunched. You can see the clear saber there, clear blue. That one sold for $113 plus $7 shipping. I mean, good buy on that one. And then here's one that's a little bit more in keeping with recent prices. This one had the dark blue saber. Again, the unpunched US card back. But still, 165 for that's a good buy. I mean, we just talked about an uncirculated 9.0 a few months ago that sold for $800. And then there was a CAS 90 that sold for $255, if memory serves. So 165 for that one. And this one looks really, really clean. So good buy on both of those, I feel like. But just keep an eye out, because some of these buy it now situations for some of these very desirable TVC 1.0 are out there. I mean, these were all buy it nows that I found after the fact, but pretty good buy on that one. A couple of different Kit Fistos sold. Here was a Five Below price tag on that one. So this was a punched example of Kit Fisto. Overall, the rest of the card looked okay. I mean, it wasn't great. Obviously, this was at Five Below, so it had some edge wear to it. There's only one photo. $66 plus $7 shipping. And then here was another one that, again, was not perfect. It had just some light scratches and kind of scuffs towards the top of the card. It might just be dust. But again, this is another one that was not perfect, but pretty clean overall. Just some light edge wear to it. But you know, on the bottom end of the budget range, I mean, that's not terrible. $70 and $66 for a budget Kit Fisto unpunched. You know, I'm seeing more like 125 to 140. So you can get it for about half price if you can live with some of those dings. A bunch of different Slave Leias again sold, and the prices were all over the map. This was a punched example. Revenge of the Jedi retail release with the prototype FET offer. That one sold for $205.50 plus shipping. Here was an unpunched, same card back, Revenge of the Jedi retail release. And it looked pretty good. I mean, you know, just some light edge wear to the bottom of the card on the back. But that's an unpunched for $237.50. That's the cheapest I've seen for an unpunched in a while. VC64. And then there was one other one. This one is the Canadian release with the multi-language. That one sold for $240 in a buy it now situation. So all of these are recent releases. I know we've covered these at length in past videos, but these were all since I've gotten back into town. I just found these in terms of recent sales. So this one was not mint by any means. So this one had a lot of wear to it, but it's the harder to find Canadian release. I think we documented it in unpunched Canadian that sold for closer to $400. So this one obviously was discounted just given the heavy edge wear to the card back. So, but again, that was the Canadian multi-language name pill. Next up was another Canadian Ahsoka. There was only one photo, and I mean, who knows what kind of condition this one was in. But I wanted to point it out because it was the original issue Ahsoka on the Canadian card back. It looks like on the bottom of the card there's some wear and tear and dings, but I don't know how you make an offer on something like this with the condition it's in. But anyway, that one did sell. It was listed for $350 Canadian, and it sold for $200 Canadian. So a pretty big discount on that one for the Canadian VC102 Ahsoka. But again, who knows what you're really buying there. It could be in pretty rough shape just based on the one photo of that one. Next up, Starkiller. This is another one that really confuses me as to what the market's doing on Starkiller. So this one is an unpunched Starkiller US release with the Darth Maul offer. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was in pretty darn good shape. I'd say, you know, there was one little hang tab issue. You can see some creasing above the hang tab and to the left of the hang tab. So this one's probably in 80 grade condition at best. But that one sold for $80. And then you had this one. It's the exact same card back, and admittedly it was in better shape. There was no creases around the hang tab, but still it might have had just some minor edge wear to it. It looks like on the bottom of the card there, in the left-hand corner, right here, you can see some edge wear or something going on that border there. So it could be dust, I don't know. But that one sold for $308 though in an auction on June 28th. $308 on 28 bids. Unpunched US card back for $308, and this one was admittedly in not as good a condition, but not significantly worse, for $80. So I don't know what's going on with Starkiller there, but that price is way out of whack. I think maybe bidders got into two guys got into a bidding war, but they overbid on that in my opinion, just based on the photos. It looks like it's got some edge wear, although it could just be dust, admittedly. So, but $308 is kind of well outside what the market is right now for Starkiller for the original issue VC100. Here is that Jar Jar Binks and Carbonite, and this might be the way to go to get one. You know, it was an 80 plus grade, 85, 80. And I can't tell what the subgrade is for the figure on that one. It looks like a 90 for the figure score. Let's see if we can find the label. There it is. So 85, 80, 90 are the subscores for an overall 80 plus. That's a pretty harsh grade from AFA, but big surprise there. But Jar Jar Binks and Carbonite. So we all know how expensive this one is. $765 on 41 bids. Took that one home. But, you know, maybe that's the way to go if you want a graded one. I don't know. Just get one that's maybe a little bit lower grade. But it seems like you could probably do better. I mean, I'm going on memory, but I feel like you could probably pick one of these up for $600, maybe $650 ungraded, and roll the dice and see if you can do better than 80 plus. But that one was beautiful, though. I mean, it had an archival case, and it was an 80 plus with 2 high subgrades, but that one did sell, again, for $765. And then the other grail was this Salacious Crumb. We've obviously documented 1 or 2 Salacious Crumbs that have sold here recently, one graded, one ungraded. This one was listed for $850, and the best offer that was accepted was $550. So he took a big discount on that one. $550 for an unpunched Salacious Crumb ungraded. So pretty surprising that he took that low of a price on that, but that's probably about market. And, you know, it did look like it's got a scratch or something on the card, so that really held the price down. You can see that pretty big scratch right there on the left-hand side. So that probably held the price down a little bit, but $550 for that one. Next up, I hadn't talked about Cad Bane. Look how beautiful this card back is. I don't have Cad Bane. I'm probably not going to get it, but I do love it. I mean, that is an awesome-looking card back and figure. Obviously, Boss Bounty has covered this at length and gave a review, but that is a beautiful, beautiful card back. And on the resale market, at least right now, it's $33. That's what it's sold for in an auction, $33 for the new release Cad Bane VC283. And then another X-Wing sold. This is a Toys R Us X-Wing. I didn't pull up too many vehicles for this batch because I think the last video I had like 10 vehicles, so I tried to take it easy on you on the vehicles. But this one sold for $113.50. That's kind of right in line with where the other ones were in last week's episode. 100 to 150 is kind of the going rate. More like 125 is about right for a pretty clean looking mint and seal box Toys R Us X-Wing fighter. And then here are the only 2 graded. Here was an uncirculated 9.0 Jakku Ray. Not my favorite card back there. I think is it the Rise of Skywalker? No, it's the Last Jedi. I can't remember. There's one Rey where she's kind of in the jungle. That's the one I really like. That's a good one. But this Ray Jakku is uncirculated 9.0. That one sold in an auction for $107.50 plus $4 shipping. And then Kylo Ren in a 9.0 grade, that one sold for $71. I thought that was a good buy, just given that some Kylo Rens I see ungraded sell for this price. So $71 plus $3 shipping on that one. So anyway, just some more recent data points for the vintage collection. Lots of interesting data. That Star Killer for $308 really left me scratching my head because that was an auction too. So, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at some recent sales. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll be back soon.